Hey guys, so I thought I'd start with a little surprise today. I've got a brand new plaque here for the latest Seven Dust album I worked on, Truth Killer. Go ahead and check that out if you haven't yet, guys. This album slams. And I'm not just saying that because I worked on it. So I've rebuilt more studios than I care to admit, from 5150 to private studios, to home studios even. And it's not always because something breaks. Sometimes you just move stuff, or maybe you upgrade things. Whatever it is, you'd be surprised the amount of work that goes into a studio that you actually never see. Like hours, days, years of work, just tucked under the floors, into the walls, behind some panel, behind some carpeted thing. It's kind of crazy for the guy that actually has to cut these wires. And you want to know one of the most boring things you can buy for a studio? Like, more boring than cables? It's called a patch bay. And you probably don't know if you need one yet, but maybe you do. Maybe it's the answer to all of your problems. Picture this. You have some gear, you want to plug it in. Well, you just reach around behind it, you plug it in, right? Well, say you get more gear. Say maybe you tuck your gear behind a wall. Maybe you just get to a point where it's really inconvenient to have to go and reach around all your gear, or your amps, guitars, whatever it is, plugging things in and out. And that's where you start to get into the world of needing things like a patch bay. So what's the point of a patch bay, you might be asking? A patch bay is kind of like the brain to your whole studio. Picture this. You've got some fancy Neve preamp or whatever it is you might have, and maybe you've got an EQ. Maybe you've got a compressor even. You've got a few things you want to plug in. Well, in theory, you just reach around, you plug one in, and then you plug into the next one, daisy chain them. Alright, well, now you want to do vocals. Well, let's say you want to switch around that setup. Well, everything's already kind of set and tucked away, and maybe you don't really want to move everything. Well, that's where something like a patch bay comes into play, because it lets you unplug and plug everything you want from the front. I know that sounds stupid. It's like, well, it just lets you plug it in from the front. Yeah, but it's a bit more than that. It's where everything's going to be plugged in and organized to where if you want to use a certain thing, boom, you can use it. No having to reach around, no having to take it out for dinner. That's horrible. Does everyone need a patch bay? No, probably not. Honestly, I think there's a lot of people that just kind of set everything up, have it set, and they probably never touch it from then on unless they turn it on and off. And that's cool. That's totally fine. This is more for your professionals or hobbyists that maybe have the desire to move around their equipment a lot and experiment with different things. Imagine having to move around all this equipment just to plug something in. That would take forever without a patch bay. That's kind of why they exist, to make it easier to switch between things when you're in the creative flow. I think one of the fun parts of audio for me is being able to experiment quick, on the cuff, just like, boom, I want this reverb, I want this EQ, bam. And that's something that a patch bay is going to give you that you're just not going to get when everything's like plugged in back behind there. So the patch bay and the renovations that I've done underneath my desk, cleaning up this rat's nest of cables, isn't the only reason why you need a patch bay. For me, it was about organizing my gear. It was about making things accessible, making things easier for me to use. The creative process can really get disrupted by any little thing. You know, me having to unplug something, or just find a cable even, or just trying to clean up a nest of cables, trying to do something else. It just takes you out and it's not fun. It's not inspiring. I mean, ultimately, you want to be able to just plug something in, play your guitar, make your music, do whatever, and then turn off everything and go to sleep, knowing that you made some cool music. A patch bay is like this super highway to all your gear. It just gives you the reach of everything at the literal tip of your fingers. Just a couple patch points and bam, you've got your compressor plugged in, your favorite EQ, and it's all plugged into your interface. You're ready to go. Boom. It's easy as that. I've actually even got my PATCHBAYS set up now where I can plug in my aux, I can plug in my Kemper, and it goes patched straight directly into Pro Tools. It's pretty cool actually, and it's really nerdy, but it's exciting because it just means I can work faster, I can write faster, I can play faster. And you're probably thinking, why didn't I do this sooner? I mean, I've been sitting on these parts, these cables, connectors. I mean, I bought Mogami cables for this. I really went all out, and it took me probably over a year to finally get this done. And honestly, I think YouTube's been a big part in helping me finish projects like this. I mean, I can't tell you how many projects I've got just sitting around waiting for me to finish. And stuff like this, which is actually like a time saver. This project would have saved me a lot of time, but it's not the most interesting thing to get started. You know, I'm not dying to solder hundreds of cables and strip them all and do all the nonsense. I'll play some clips here so you can see how boring it is. Yeah, that's about it. For hours on end. I honestly just want to thank everyone that's subscribed so far. I mean, I've only been on YouTube for a pretty short amount of time, and just seeing your support, it really pushes me to want to finish projects like this and kind of just push the barrier of what I want to offer to this YouTube community, whether it be guitars, music production, an insight into studios, you know, the process of working with platinum producers. I mean, I work with the guy that sold 80 million records. He's pretty cool, and we make some pretty fun music. So, you know, I think we can all relate to having a few projects sitting around the house that we just quite haven't gotten around to, but maybe this video will inspire you to get some of your own projects done. Let me know what you have sitting around. Thanks for watching. Peace out.